Living in Mexico vlog 10. I cannot believe it has been 10 weeks. This vlog, I am breaking myths of living in Mexico. So everything from the dangers of the streets to the lazy, drunk Mexicans, the terrible food and the toxic water, all of that, I'm gonna expose some truth to you and let you know why this place is really not as bad as you probably think it might be. And in fact, like, you're probably gonna want to come visit. So check out this vlog. It's gonna be a good one.
Solo solito en la habitación, busca que busca de mi calor. Whoa, no, no. Quiere remedio pa' tu dolor. Nadie te lo hace mejor que yo. Whoa, no, no.
So in today's vlog, we are talking about myths of Mexico, and since I've been down here for about 4 months altogether now, I've heard the craziest of rumors that I feel like debunking for you because I feel like it's necessary. Okay, before I start, I'm just about to go grab lunch at one of my new favorite places. I had my first, let's call it, local experience. No, nothing bad, not like ruining anything about all these myths of Mexico and it being dangerous. So I had my first experience and I was on 5th Avenue. I was looking at sunglasses and I asked the guy how much sunglasses were. And he was like, well, it depends on what you're looking at. And I said, I want 2 of them. And first he's like, give me 25 bucks, so like 25 American. Voila. And then I stare at him and then he goes, okay, 22. And then he goes, okay, 20. And I was like, pesos? Like, I'm pulling his leg here, right? And he's like, no, American dollars. And I was like, oh, no mommies. And that, my friends, is the first time I've actually used that phrase. My friends taught me that phrase, and it's basically like saying F off or don't mess with me, kind of. So I had my first legit Mexican experience, which was kind of funny. I thought it was funny anyway. So I'm gonna grab lunch. We're gonna pop over to El Popeye, and then we're gonna keep going on these myths. We're gonna transition throughout them all. So let's get it. I'm gonna sit down for lunch at El Popeye's because it is delicious. I've been here before last week and it's super cheap and very good. So I'm just sitting down for lunch because it is a really hot day and I just really didn't want to cook at home today. And while we were on the topic of debunking myths of Mexico, one of the ones I wanted to talk about, because I feel like everyone thinks that it's only tacos down here and the food is only deep fried or crappy or you're gonna get parasites from it or whatever the case is. Yes, I'm sweaty, it's hot outside. So one of the myths that I want to debunk is 1, that Mexico's food is bad, and 2, you're gonna get parasites, or however you want to like combine those. So the food here, in my perspective, so tracking macros and being on track and eating well and everything, I would say I do eat clean for the most part, but I don't like deprive myself and I do follow a flexible approach. So the food here, I've actually found it easier to track my food than if I was to be on vacation or live in another country. And the reason for that is because seafood is my go-to for any restaurant meal. I just ordered camarón tostada, which is like a toasted tortilla with shrimp on it, and then I ordered octopus ceviche because it's just amazing. Most white fish is very lean, so you're not even going to get any fats in it, and unless you order like avocado on the side, then the ceviche, it's not going to have any fats in it. So whether you got the white fish, whether you get octopus, or whether you get shrimp, like you're basically getting like a pure protein source. Now ceviche, basically it is the seafood of choice marinated in lime juice, and then it's going to be onion, some cucumber, tomato, and cilantro. There's some places they do serve the ceviche raw. I go for seafood all the time and I eat the raw food, and I do cook food at home. For the most part, it is seafood, just because now that I have a chance to eat local seafood or fresh seafood all the time instead of it constantly being frozen, then I'm more likely, obviously, to eat the seafood. It's way better, and I'm just totally sick of chicken. So the fish or the food that I do cook at home is mostly the seafood, and I have not gotten sick once in 4 months from eating the food down here. The food is very good, it's clean. There's been a couple, like, I would say fattier meals, like more oil, but they're not like greasy, they never made me sick or anything. So the food is amazing here. So if you ever heard that the food down here is crap, someone come talk to me, because that is baloney. Now, the other thing is talking about parasites, and everyone thinks that when you come down here you're gonna get a parasite. And the reason why a lot of people get parasites on vacation down here or in Caribbean countries is because when you come from Canada or the States, you're not used to the really, really fresh seafood, and you're not used to the raw seafood. When you start eating it in copious amounts like I do, the chances of you picking up a bug or a parasite is a lot more likely. Now, I have not had a parasite, I'm not saying that I have had one, but it is common down here, and that's why, because you're eating so much raw fish, or you're eating just so much seafood, and you know that like the amount of like pollution and crap and garbage that goes into the ocean, and that's where our seafood comes from. You can't really avoid that, so it's bound to happen. Now, there are little parasite pills that you can go buy at the convenience store or at the local pharmacy, and those are only a few bucks. Basically what it does is just kind of like flushes you out a little bit. It's not going to give you like the scoots, it's not going to make you sick, it shouldn't. Common signs of getting a parasite would be like you're really tired, you might be bloated, you might be gaining weight, you might not be hungry, you might be really hungry, you might have no energy. Like, it's really going to vary. What I've heard is that with doctors and locals that live down here, the doctors recommend that people take a parasite pill like once every 6 months just to be sure, as like precaution. So it's not that like just the locals get sick or whatever the case is, but everyone down here, they do run the risk, and sorry, that's what happens when you live here. It's not bad, everything is good, so I don't know where all these myths come from. Another thing with the Mexican food that I find it being easier to eat down here is I do have a wheat sensitivity. I try to avoid it. It's not the gluten, it's just something in the wheat that's not make my stomach happy, so I avoid it. Almost all the tortillas and tostadas and corn chips down here are made from corn, which is amazing because it is way more easily accessible to get corn down here than it is to grow wheat, just because of the temperature. So almost everything is made with corn, which makes it, one, better to eat, less GMO, less crap. It's just really, really good. Alright, so this is my lunch. This is like freaking delicious. So, shrimp tostada. Yum, yum. And then we have octopus ceviche. Other than like the few slices of avocado on here, there's really no fat, which is amazing. Not that I cared or I try to avoid no fat, but like it's really, really good food, and it's so cheap too. I'm gonna eat. Alright, so I'm just paying for the bill now, and it was 215 pesos. So a bottle of water, tostada, and the ceviche was 215 pesos, which is like $14. Maybe like $10 American, but 14 Canadian. So that is pretty good. So cheap. It's so cheap to live down here. It's so good. Mexico myth. The streets of Mexico are not safe. So this is probably one of the most popular questions or comments or concerns that I've gotten while living down here. Now, remember that I live in Playa del Carmen, not in Cancun. And Cancun is a lot more built up and more city-like, similar to Toronto. Let's just compare it to that. Now, the two important factors that you need to consider: you have to be street smart. Living anywhere, don't be an idiot, because if you're an idiot and then bad things are going to happen, of course. The second thing you have to take into consideration is that no matter where you are, something can happen. I could be walking down the street right now on some like dirt gravel road and someone can jump out from these bushes, or I could be locked up in my apartment through my security doors and something bad can still happen. Like, it's gonna happen anywhere in the world. I have traveled to many different cities all over North America. So I'm from the outside of Toronto, so I've been to Toronto, I've been to Hamilton, Brampton, Windsor, the places that are considered not safe in Ontario. I've been to Buffalo in New York. I've been to San Diego, Orlando, Tampa, down in Florida. I've been to Atlanta, Georgia. I've been over the West Coast in British Columbia. I've been to Cuba and Dominican. So I've been to like a bunch of different places. And why would I choose to live here if I didn't feel safe? Comparing to all those other places, I definitely feel safe living in Playa del Carmen. If you look at me and if you have no idea who I was, and if you see me just walking on the streets, I'm a small, young, good-looking woman who does not look strong at all by any means. So you would think that I would kind of be a prime target if someone wanted to harass me, steal me, murder me, kidnap me, you know what I mean, hurt me. I don't look like I could really defend myself, and I'm totally okay with that. So I would be like a prime target if someone wanted to attack me. And living here for a total of 4 months so far, I have not had a single issue where I have not felt safe. Not one thing has happened. I've been in taxis, I've taken buses to Cancun, I've gone to Tulum, I've gone all the way down to the border of Belize, and I have felt safe. I have not had any problems. Even speaking the language that I don't know how to speak, I've not had any issues communicating or feeling uncomfortable walking home from the bar or from dinner at night with my friends. I've not had any issues. So living in Mexico and it not being safe is a huge misconception. And if you've never been down here, first I'm gonna recommend you get your butt down here and see how amazing it is to live down here. And then you can tell me that you don't feel safe down here. And guess what? If you don't feel safe, you never have to come back. But I feel safe in Playa del Carmen, and it being dangerous living in Mexico is totally not the case at all. So that myth has been busted. Mexico myth, the tap water is not safe to drink. No, that's not a myth. It's actually not safe to drink, but only to a certain extent. Now, I am here at the corner filling up my water jug. It cost me 13 pesos to fill up 20 liters, which is less than $1, so it's actually very cheap. Now, the water filtration is going to be different in different parts of the country. In more developed areas, like in the city, in hotel areas, the water filtration is going to be a lot better. So you can drink the tap water in some places than others, which is totally fine. Everything is filtered, and there definitely is a filtration process. It's just there is potential for contamination, and yeah, the contamination is bad. That would be like living in any country where you're not supposed to drink tap water. So it's not that the water is going to kill you, or that if you have boiled water or brush your teeth, like, you're gonna be fine. I'm in Playa del Carmen. The water here, I do not drink the tap water, but I do brush my teeth with it, and I do like rinse my vegetables with it before I cook them and stuff. It's just all about taking simple precautions, right? With anything that you do in life. Now, the water that I get here, it does go through a 4-step additional filtration process. So drinking the tap water in Mexico, probably not the best idea, but it's not gonna kill you. But there are many other options that are very cheap. Myth busted, kind of. Okay. You first?
Yes.
Go for it.
My name is Luis. I own my business. I am Mexican and I don't own a sombrero.
Thank you. Next.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Soy Julio. Y yo trabajo de entrenador personal y artista. Digo, sí soy mexicano, pero no.
Gracias.
Hi, my name is Andreas, Mexican. I'm a property manager, and I do own a sombrero, but I don't use it.
Perfect. So these guys are all good looking. They're Mexican. They have jobs. They're not currently drunk. They might be later, but they're not drunk right now. and one owns a sombrero, but they don't wear them. So debunking myths. So I hope today's vlog cleared up some of the myths that you have heard about living in Mexico, about it being dangerous, about the locals being lazy, unemployed, sombrero wearing drunk slobs, that the food is not good, the water is not safe, because man, you think I would live in a place that was not safe and not healthy and not anything? No, I wouldn't. So there's a reason why I'm living down here, and those are the rumors of the crap that's not true and why I'm living down here. So until next time, strong friends.